Hi, I'm Couch Peach. I PvP a good bit in Rust and win a little bit too. That said, my aim is nowhere near any of the best. For reference, I have peaked Diamond in the Voltaic benchmarks and Citrine 1 in the new AimLabs official benchmarks. I think this shows that you don't need thousands of hours and aim trainers to excel in the world of Rust if you can learn some base mechanics and decision making skills. I'm going to take you through my thought process during a recent fight where I was outnumbered. Let's get started. Here I decided to wait, as I didn't have any information as to whether or not the AK wrapped around Toilet Room or went into it. Pushing could have easily gotten me killed, as he had the better kit to face check me, and I would be actively giving him information that he could play off of. Knowing that he fell back to mid, I decided to push while I still had info and a better fight given the difference between our kits. Here I chose not to push into the Toilet Room as he could easily pre-fire my angle and hold the door at the moment it opens. Instead, I sat on top of the tube as it gives me an off angle that he shouldn't expect and cover if I needed to drop. Right now, I'm just waiting at the door to open so I can pre-fire through the smoke, knowing that he can't see anything if he were to peek. Once I hear the scientist shooting at a grub, I decide to fall back to Red Room, as it allowed me to isolate 1v1s and provide more cover than holding Toilet Room. If I had stayed in between Red Room and Toilet, then the grub were to push. Even if I were to kill the grub, I would immediately have to worry about the AK in Toilet pushing out while I have no healing. I want the grub to fight the AK first, and then I can capitalize off the fight and fight the last one remaining. This is a big idea within fights with more than 2 groups. In nearly all shooters, you always want to be the last to fight. I use the crate noise as a way to force the AK to try to push into a situation where he may not expect me. Having heard the scrappy and knowing there's still a grub on oil, I decide to stall in the Red Room and wait for the grub to deal with them before pushing out. Once I heard the commotion, I knew that the full kits most likely won't be holding me, so I used this time to look through the window for information and then peek the person looting the grub. This would have been perfectly played if not for earlier when I see the green kit above Red Room. This peek makes me very vulnerable to him and could have caused a loss. In an attempt to get one easy kill, I did not properly isolate my 1v1s. When outnumbered in fights, you need to find 1v1s to take and then fall back behind cover. The same goes the other way around. When you outnumber your opponents, it's generally best to play close together and trade your teammates. This is something my opponent should have done better. I wouldn't have won this fight if they had played more as a team and tried to trade each other when I peeked. Having seen the green kit through the window, I knew that when peeking him through the door, I would have the advantage in the fight, as I can both pre-fire him and he will only see my lower body while I can see his upper chest and head. This is another isolated 1v1 that gives me time to heal and later fight the last full kit. Seeing that the person on crane is occupied with the people on helipad, I decide to push out and face check him now, while the person on helipad still isn't able to trade me out. Once I got that kill, I wanted to make sure that the person who was on helipad had died, but seeing the person being shot by scientists, I decided to push out while I had information as to where people were and before he could pick up a gun. I think this fight shows that in Rust, a large part of winning comes from mechanics that are not aim. I hope y'all enjoyed this and would love to hear any feedback you have.